to another Boss Teacher Live. So we're gonna go live in about a minute. All right, people are popping on already. Fabulous, fabulous, fabulous. Hey, Ayana. Good evening, darling. All right, so Ayana, take about a minute and share this video with a couple people on Facebook in your WhatsApp. I'm giving everyone just about another minute to hop on. So just go ahead, take the time and share, DM some people, WhatsApp some people, and just tell them to come on. Hi, Shakira. All right, so people are popping in. All right, so people are popping in. One more minute and then we are going to start. Let's dance.
Literally?
Of course. Few more seconds and we're gonna begin, guys. All right, so let's do this thing. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Welcome everyone to another Boss Teacher Live. I can't believe that it's day 2 already. Last night we rocked the house. It was amazing. We started late and people sat around for an entire hour and waited for us to come on. That blew my mind. And it shows me that people are interested in what we have to share. What we are sharing is amazing value. And I know yesterday, today, especially, and for the rest of the week, this information is going to transform a lot of lives. So I am grateful for those of you who have showed up early. For those of you who are just logging on, please jump into the chat and let us know who you are, where you're tuning in from, and what you're most excited about hearing tonight. So for this session of the Boss Teacher Live, as y'all know, I'm celebrating 2 whole years. Like, I just felt like I just started this business yesterday. Thank you, but it's 2 whole years officially on the 28th of November that Boss Teacher is going to be turning 2. And so for the entire week, we're having a very special guest, like people who I met from day 1 are going to be sharing with you their journey. Like, what has the past 2 years been for me? Because I've been talking about this all along, so I'm tired of hearing me, right? So I have tonight Rachael McDonald. No, Rachael is a little badass in her own right. Just wait. I met her 2 years ago. How did we meet? I think it was on social media. I honestly don't remember. Yeah, it was on social media. Okay. But she was one of the very first guests on the Boss Teacher podcast. And I met Rachael. By the way, you need to go and listen to the podcast. If you haven't listened to it, you are going to enjoy that conversation because she has some amazing nuggets to share. And
I think you're going to enjoy this conversation a lot more.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
I think we need to focus on this one. Let's just focus on this. Yeah.
Subscribe
to the podcast for sure, but let's focus on this.
Okay, all right. We're tuning into this right now. Yeah. So Rachael is one of the trailblazers in education in Jamaica. So if you don't know who she is the boss. the boss of all bosses at Fundaciones. And I remembered when I was having the conversation in the podcast, and you said you love money, you know, the song that came to my mind, "Me want $1 million by a morning."
And did I ever tell you how I can manifest that really quickly? Because I had to a couple times.
Oh my goodness. And as I was preparing for this, like the song kept running. I mean, I don't know the song, you know, that's the only.
Don't mind that song being running across your mind when you think of me. That's awesome. Keep me in your thoughts like that.
Yes, and let it come to fruition. Absolutely. So in 2020, so Rachel, let me backtrack a little bit. So Rachel is the founder of Fundaciones, right? That's how we met. But since the pandemic, a lot has happened in terms of education, not just in Jamaica, but across the world. A lot of institutions have had to go online. And I remember calling Rachael earlier this year, like it was early summer, and I'm ready to register my son at Fundaciones. And Rachael says to me, things kind of have changed right about now. So we're gonna talk about that. We can just jump right into it. Like, how has this pandemic transformed the way you do business in 2020?
Okay. Well, first of all, let me just say hi to everyone. Hi, everyone. And let me just extend a big thank you to you, Julia, for having me, and an even bigger congratulations to you on the Boss Teacher turning 2. You know, I see what you're doing. I follow you on social media. I join some of your live chats on a Monday night, and I am just blown away by your energy. And every time I think of you, I think of your energy, because you're always smiling. You're absolutely enthusiastic, and you're passionate about what you do. And that just tells a whole lot. That just makes people want to gravitate to what you have to say and what you have to share. And it just really sets the precedence for many others right across the society. So big ups to you. Congratulations to you. I'm getting goosebumps. Thank you for all you do just for our teachers locally and right across the globe. So we celebrate you today. So we're going to be compliant, and we're going to try our best and answer the questions that you have asked. So what has business been like in 2020? Oh my goodness. I'm going to backtrack a little bit and tell you, last year, this time, me and my team, we had the most amazing vision for 2020. We're just like, yo, 2020 vision. Oh my gosh, it's when you see clearly, it's when you see perfectly. After 11 years in the business, you know, oh, this is the year that it all comes together. All of the expansion, everything is just going to mesh. It's going to gel. Oh my goodness, perfection. And I was like, yes, oh my gosh, guys, I want this. Let's make this happen. And then I thought back to the Renaissance. Oh my gosh, can you remember what happened? How society was pre and post Renaissance? I'm like, yes, I feel this for education. So we're ready now. We're ready to start. And at the beginning of the year, we hear about, COVID-19 in this faraway country. How that now come to Jamaica? Boop. First bit of drama. One of my call centers. So I have a daycare. I had a daycare in a call center that was just wonderful. They call and say, here's the deal. We're going to pause that call center, that daycare that you offer right now. And I'm just like, what? Pause? Bear in mind, that was a big money earner, game changer. So I was like, what? So, you know, I start the year off fully stressed out, but I'm like, it's okay. Everything always works out. I'm where we need to be. Guys, don't worry. You know, you have to hold it together for your team. Starting. And then the pandemic hits and all classes have to go online. No, it's wonderful that you can move classes online if you are a particular age. But it's absolutely impossible if you're 18 months, if you're 2 years old, if you're 3 years old. Right? It's literally impossible. It's particularly impossible with the methodology that we believed in and that we encouraged at Fundaciones. I mean, we're play-based. We believed in lots of music, movement, rhymes, chants, art and craft. We were very process-oriented. So to tell parents that they're going to start doing activities at home, using things found at home, and they can find the time to do so, worked for some families, and it literally didn't work for other families. And when we stopped and we looked at where the pandemic was and the likelihood of it continuing with us and the risks, I'm a great risk taker. I don't mind taking risk. I've done it all my life. I just said, this one just doesn't feel good. Something about this just does not feel right. And I said, you know what? I have to pivot. I have to pull out. I have to pull out right now. I can't offer an online program for early childhood. Now, early childhood was the bulk of our students in Kingston and Montego Bay, of course, on the call center. We're early childhood experts. And we said, well, let's just pull out. It caused a lot of people to cry. It was very emotional for a lot of us, myself included. But I really and truly just believe that everything happens for a reason and that everything was going to be okay. Initially, when I mentioned it, my family were like, you can't do that, you're crazy, you can't do that. And I was just like, really? I'm like, I can, and I'm going to do it. But the thing about me is that I have problems making minor decisions. So what to wear, what to eat, I don't know. But once I'm faced with a real huge decision, I can make that decision comfortably and with ease, and I feel confident about it. So we did that. And then we decided that we were going to push an online program for our primary age kids. It would be an asynchronous program. It would entail asynchronous learning, flipped learning. And truthfully, I still think it's a game changer. But a lot of persons were not quite ready for it because they wanted to enroll in a face-to-face school. So once September hit and school start was delayed, everybody was up in a tizzy, and I felt a lot more confident in the decision that I had made. Now, just as I closed decided to close officially in June, I had no idea what I was going to do. I had no idea how things were going to turn out. Literally, I had no idea, but I just had a little inclination of hope inside that everything was going to be all right. And literally, everything just aligned itself in the most remarkable way. And I just got clients. I just got people that said, hey, can you just come and help us with our school? I'm like, sure, okay. We need to know if you'd be able to do this. And literally, within a matter of about 7 days, people just started calling me. And I was like, I guess I could do this educational consultancy. But then I looked around and I'm like, everybody does educational consultancy. There's so many people that do so much stuff. I'm like, what can I focus on that now I am at this stage of my life and that I feel the need to just engage in? And I said, I just want to help schools and administrators. And my sister has a candle store, and I went in her candle store one day and I looked up because she has all the newspaper articles in her ceiling. And I look up and I saw this article that I think the Observer had done of the two of us back in 2008 or 2009. And it said, what do you want in terms of education in 10 years? And I said, I really want to affect change to a large number of people. And do you know, when I stopped and I think about it, I'm able to reach so many more persons through the consultancy than the 400 that I would through the schools. And to me, we're at a place now, the pandemic has put us in a place, in a zone, in an energy where educational transformation is what is absolutely necessary. And because of this pandemic, we are all forced and ready and eager and need to take on that challenge. So far in the last couple of months, my job or my task for working with schools and administrators has really been fulfilling. I still get a chance to work in education. I still get a chance to do what I love. I still have a small number of kids working remotely and online doing the Fun on the Line program. And it's what it is. It's not what I had imagined a year ago. Definitely not what I had imagined a year ago. But it's where I am. And we have so much to give thanks for. We have so much to be grateful for. It would just be absolutely remiss and horrible of me to just, to think of everything that is happening and be like, oh, I want my school. Oh, I could be doing this. We could all be doing different things, but we aren't, right? So I have been focusing on the daily wins. And once I start focusing on the daily wins, I have more daily wins and weekly wins and monthly wins. Yeah. And it's a domino effect. So it's a lot about, in this process, I've been humbled greatly. And I think my spiritual journey has just been what it's all about. It's been something that I think is just absolutely wonderful and it's immeasurable. And I'm really grateful for where I am. Even though I have a little breakdown every once in a while, I'm like, I can't do that. But You know, I'm like, I can't do this. I just need a regular job. I can't do this. But you know what? It does provide a level of gratification that I never imagined. And I mean, there were days like that in the school too. I have so much I can write a book, but I won't scare the listeners today.
We're coming back to that book, you know. Remember, we had talked about it before.
we are.
I know you're very, very big on following your passion, Rachael. And I hear you mention it again earlier when you said you had no clue what you were going to do, but you felt deep down that it was going to all work out. And I have some teachers, and not just teachers, but people in general that I see that are the complete opposite of that. They are confident in what they're able to do, and they have this great feeling that things are going to be okay. But then the minute they decide to step out, fear takes over and they hold back. And they've been holding back for a year. They've been holding back for 2 years, and the pandemic come and everybody else is stepping out and they're still holding back. What advice do you have to give, especially the teachers who are here today?
Let me tell you what I think personally. I think the more you're put in situations to handle change is the better you handle change. And I have a picture that my mom took of me when I was a little girl back in the day, in the early 80s, when the circus came to Jamaica. And she put this monkey beside me, and I hated this monkey. And every time we see it, you know, my sister and my mom and I we laugh. We're like, yeah, mom has been putting you in difficult situations from an early age, so you know how to handle it. And I think, like a muscle, the more you're forced to do an exercise, it's the better you handle it. The more in tune your body becomes to the exercise, you know, the easier it becomes. I think the same thing with taking risks, with stepping out of our comfort zone. The more you do it, is the better it becomes for you. It's the easier it becomes for you, and the better you're able to handle it. I also think that, you know, as teachers, as educators, we tend to tell children what they need to do, but we ourselves don't listen to the advice that we give. For example, we talk all the time about a growth mindset, right? And stepping out of our comfort zones, and learning doesn't happen in safe spaces. We have to make a mistake. We have to get it wrong. Let me tell you, teachers, I have gotten it wrong so many times. And you know those little phrases that you see on social media, you either win or you learn. You learn, whether you win or you lose. It's just always a lot to learn. And, you know, there's just so many things that we're forced to do as educators, especially here in Jamaica, that really help us and that are really created to help us become better at our craft. For example, if you're an early childhood practitioner, I'm big on early childhood, so I have to refer to this. You know, our lesson plans have a lot about reflection. Reflect what worked, what never worked. But half of the time, we're so intent and hell-bent on writing the lesson, on completing the task, we don't go back to the reflections. We don't go back to what worked, how we can tweak it, how we can make it better. So when the situation comes again, the same fear that held us back and that engulfed us previously is exactly what we take back into the situation. So literally, sometimes you really just have to step back and just say, oh my gosh, I messed up. Yikes, this did not go as planned. All right, what am I going to do to fix this? How can I fix this? How can I become better? And you know, your objective should be always to get better. Jamaicans are, you know, I use Jamaican and Jamaican educators because that's where we are right now. Mm-hmm. You know, we're very competitive. From we're in primary school, from we're at basic school, we're running against somebody, we have to win the race, right? We have to go outside. I can sing better than you. I can memorize better than you. I can do this better than you. We are competitive by nature. And because we're competitive by nature, we should constantly want to improve. But I think that somewhere along the way, we just get so caught up with the fear of losing that we forget that we really can win, right? We forget it. And I saw this phrase a couple months ago, and I have to share it with you. It says, sometimes it takes an overwhelming breakdown to have an undeniable breakthrough.
Wow.
Right? And it has resonated with me so much, because sometimes everything just have to go crazy and chaotic, and it has to hit the fan literally. And, you know, after that, you just start again. But there's always a Monday. There's always a sunset. There's always a sunrise. There's always an opportunity to begin again. And we have to give thanks for that.
Yeah. Don't get caught up with the fear of losing so that you forget that you actually can win. I think that's going to be my quote for tonight. I don't know. Like, I got a quote last night. I'm getting a quote tonight. But I love that. I love that, because we have to, as teachers, we have to constantly remind ourselves, because I find that teachers think that all they can do is teach, because they've been burying all their gifts and their talents for so long. But you, like, let me just give you a little bit of your story. Rachael started out studying to become a pediatrician, and you pivot to Spanish and pivot to education. Now you're an education consultant.
I'm a dancer. I pivot all the time. I tell you, you get better and better and better the more you practice.
You practice, trust me, believe it. So let's talk about the money for a minute here, because I heard the phrase profit in the pandemic and it hit me. I'm like, so many people are looking at this time and looking at it from just feeling very devastated, not feeling very hopeless, not knowing where the next dollar is going to come from. And then there's another set of people who are looking at this as the greatest opportunity in the world and are making the most of it. So, I mean, I know which angle you're taking it from.
No,
but
I have been at both angles. So that's the beauty. So I have been at both angles. I feel how you're feeling on the left. I know what it's like on the right, like legitimately, right? I get it. I'm there with you. I've been there, right? But the reality is that it starts in your mind. You have to just make up your mind, and you have to just say, you know what? I'm done with that. I'm done with that, and commit to it. So you see, like me now, I have a little Chinese in my DNA. So money was always something that I was kind of tuned into earning a little bit of extra and a little bit more of. So from I was 12, I was babysitting to earn. I used to make my grandmother make Christmas cards, and I used to sell them. I mean, even while I taught, I still had a summer camp. I was still doing other little things to earn money. So I knew that my teacher salary could never, ever suffice. It would never be enough for me and what I wanted. So but I also knew that I wanted to stay in education. But I just knew from the get-go that I needed to do everything in my power to earn more and to keep earning more. So the reality is that practitioners, teachers, administrators, guys, you can do this. You can earn. But I think what you need to do is and I call it my little fun strategy. Everything based on Fundaciones has a little fun to it. And I think what you can probably do to guide you is to, first of all, find the fun. Find what it is that you're most passionate about, what you love to do. So you love to create lesson plans, sell some lesson plans. You love to make up jingles and rhymes and songs, create a YouTube channel, post that, right? Let's monetize that. Let's make that work. You love to just be in the classroom, or you're really good with technology. All right, let's do something online. Let us restructure things a little bit. But it's important for you to use the time to reflect again. Remember, we spoke about reflection. Reflect on what it is about what you do that you absolutely love, right? Find the fun first and foremost. And then once you find the fun, unleash your vision. And don't be afraid. Like I say, unleash it. Like go all out. Dream big. Go all out. And then after that, and this is something that I used to always tell my staff, we don't have any room for complacency. You must always turn it up. What we're going to do next? What we're going to do next? The only way you can keep moving, and you can keep moving higher and growing and getting stronger and becoming better, is if you train, right? If you're an athlete, you work out hard, you're training, you're vomiting, you're going through the motions. You have to grow. So the next thing you do is you normalize growth, and you make growth a part of your lifestyle. And I think those three things would be my tips for any teacher who wants to just step out and try a thing.
I'm taking notes.
You're the boss. You are the boss when it comes to doing that. So I can only share what I have done a little bit.
No, I'm taking notes here, guys. See my book? And that's not the first thing. Yeah, I'm taking notes because these are really, 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 I don't even want to call them nuggets. Like I need a word, I need a different word for it. This is good stuff. This is good stuff. And anybody who is listening and really want to just pursue your passion and launch out, this is a good example of somebody who has done it. Like Rachel has been able to use her gifts, use her all of the things that she is passionate about. And earlier we were talking about two things. Was it two of the things that you are now offering as products as part of your consultation package? So let's talk about that for a little bit, just to give our teachers an idea of one, what are some of the things that you can create based on where you are in your teaching journey? And two, absolutely go out and support and purchase the products that Rachel is offering as part of her service. So tell us about them, Rachel.
Say number one again. I didn't hear that. My apologies. Number one was?
No, I'm just saying for you, just share with us those products that we were talking about earlier. Because one, I want the teachers to have an idea of what else can they do, like not necessarily to copy you, but use their own passion and produce other things for them, and of course support you in what you are doing. So share with us some of the products you are selling outside of your consultation services.
So literally the products that I have created, my merch, are literally based on the sessions I have had with teachers and practitioners and administrators. So they're all tools to really support them and just kind of support me too. So I am on an educational journey again. I have issues clearly, and I needed sheets and to-do lists. I find that there is so much gratification in crossing off lists and making checklists and just say, yeah, done, done, done. And in this here pandemic, we need as many options for feel good as humanly possible. So one of the things I created for one of my clients was a daily performance sheet. And then I kind of tweaked it now. So it's a notepad that we sell. And it literally prioritizes a number of different things. So I knew that most people like myself struggled, and in the last 12 years, I've struggled between balancing your personal life, your spiritual life, your physical exercise life with school life. And then when you get to school, there's so much drama. There is support needed to be given to your staff. There are student needs that need to be addressed. There is parent communication and stakeholder communication that needs to be, needs to follow. And then there are things, if you're an administrator, that you need to do, that you need to delegate, that you need to not do, right? We get in the habit of doing, and we forget that there are some things that we really need not do. And, this little sheet has a little bit of everything. It has a little checkbox for you to say, yes, I did my meditation, I said my prayers, I journal, I've done my exercise, I've checked on social media if you need to, I've done a little bit of planning, I've done some reflection, I've done my professional development and reading, because I know I'm big on the growth and continued growth. And it really has helped me and that particular client to just sort of structure our day a little bit more. And it helps in planning the next day. And it really offers some sort of balance and organization to many chaotic lives, myself included. So that's something that I felt really cool about. I felt really excited to do it because it's something that I know works because I have worked it. You know what I mean? And sometimes it's best to pilot things yourself.
Yeah.
And another thing I've worked on, I have 2 different planners. This is one that I created. It's really big. It's an educator planner. Oh, I forgot to tell you something. Something that's unique to my planners and on this sheet is our daily affirmations and just being able to affirm things over ourselves. So for our practitioners who struggle with fear, it's time we start speaking words of empowerment and words of positivity over ourselves. And there's a section for that. And I also mentioned this earlier to you. There's a section on this to celebrate every win of each day, because every single solitary day, yes, you have some funky days, yes, you have some awful days, but I guarantee you there is at least one thing for you to celebrate and mark as a win. Even if it means just walking around your complex, that's a win, because you got a chance to be outside in nature, you slow down the breathing, and you're just redirecting the energy. So if we as educators start to really set our intentions differently, and we start to just kind of work with what we set each day and work with a schedule. I know it can work because it has helped me big time. On the days that I don't use my checklist, Lord, them all over the place. Because I forget to look and I said, oh my gosh, did I check my morning emails? Did I check my afternoon emails? I don't need to be checking them right throughout the day. It's a waste of time business. And yes, I need to do my little journal of gratitude, Lord, because the more things we focus on that are good is the more good things we have. So I'm particularly pleased with this, guys, and you're going to see it come up on the social media soon. So if you're not following Talks with Tia, please do so now.
Okay, so where, before you move on to the next one, where can they find that? You told me it's coming out this
It's coming out this on our, what you call it, on our Instagram.
So at Talks with Tia, right. So let me do a follow-up question, because before you move on to the next one, because I noticed you said that you created that checklist because of the needs of one of your clients. We just can't skip past that, because what I want our teachers to understand is that a lot of times you will find that when you're just stepping out and you're trying to figure out what it is that you want to do, you might be doing some work for free or you're getting paid to do it. Pay attention to what your clients are asking you for. Those are the things that they are going to buy from you. They ask you for something, whether by the way or just directly. Sit down and put it together, because you never know how many other of those same clients have that particular need and they didn't really know how to ask. So that's one of the ways that you can come up with a product or a service as part of your side hustle or your business. Listen to what your clients are saying.
Absolutely. That's all I'm going to say. Absolutely. And then if you're really persuasive and if you think you have the gift of gab, you create something that you think can benefit others. So like me now, this I created because I'm like, yo man, okay, this must can help her. But first, let me try it. And once I tried it, of course, I'm going to hype it up and I'm going to make it work. I made it work, right? And it has proven successful. Right? So don't, even look at what you need, even look at things that can make your daily life stronger and daily lives better. So you're a teacher, you're teaching grade 3. Oh my goodness. And the social studies NSC is just so difficult. What can I do to support teachers like me that have to talk about soil erosion? Think about what it is that you need to complete your tasks with excitement, with enthusiasm, and even just better. What can I do differently? Think about what you need to complete your day-to-day business, your day-to-day objectives, and try and build on that. So even if you don't have a clientele just yet, and you're just not sure what you need to do or how you're going to do it, think about what you need. Listen to yourself. Again, reflect. What will make your job better, stronger, easier? And try and create it or offer it.
Absolutely. Those are some solid points about how you can create a product or a service that you can sell to your potential client. Because as Rachael said earlier, the teaching salary is never going to be enough. So you have to figure it out. What are you going to do, guys? All right. So tell us about the other one that, the other product that you have.
So I have a couple others, but I don't have them in front of me, regrettably. I just brought these home just by buck-ups. The other two, we have really cool educator planners for the school year. So I used to love a diary. I used to buy this diary every year called a passion planner, and I had a parent ever since 2003. She would give me the most amazing diaries, and she used to personalize them. Anyway, her child graduated. She's a big woman now. I don't get those diaries anymore. So I created this sort of planner to really help me. This particular one is based on it's a weekly schedule. You kind of prioritize the things that matter. But what makes it really cool is that you have a monthly goal tracker. So you're literally setting personal goals, monthly goals, personal goals, classroom and school goals, communication goals, professional development and reading goals. And of course, I'm big on the affirmations, and you're focusing on something that you're going to really just use to knock it out of the park. So we have this as well, and we have another one. And then I have launched this little Jamaican brand of t-shirts for teachers. So we have like the distance learning queen, the dedicated teacher from afar, and the essential educator t-shirts. I also have coming on a couple more, the beam of light, etc., etc.
Yeah, you need to come up a little bit, because I was telling her earlier how I love her shirt, and I think I didn't realize that you made them. I'm gonna need one, Rachael. Essential educator.
Because we really are.
We are. Believe it, we
Each
are.
and every one of us.
So for those of you who are interested in purchasing either the checklist, the planner, the t-shirts, and any other product that Rachael is going to be flooding us with on Friday, please go over and follow her at Talks with Tia. Let me say it again. As a matter of fact, let me just pull it up and type it and add it to the chat right now. And I'm also going to be adding it to the description of the video for those of you who are watching the replay. So right now, Talks with Tia on Instagram to definitely go and see what Rachael has to offer. And I know that Rachael is going to contribute amazing things in the field of education. Right now, I want you guys to let us know if you have any questions for Rachael before we log out tonight. Any questions about her business, her journey, any questions about the growth of Fundaciones? I don't know like how scaled down it is right now.
Scaled down, we're working on a few projects. We're working on a few projects. So there's always something in the pipeline. So we are happy to have one or two projects that we're working on, different projects that we have never really engaged in before. But I think these projects are well needed. I don't want to say too much about it, because I do also believe that sometimes, you know, it's good to just hold on to the energy and magnify it and let it go when you need to let it go. But, you know, again, never ever room for complacency. So you should always be working on something else. Always have something on the back burner.
So there's lots more in store from Rachael Bedlon. I'm excited. I'm excited. Like just listening to you and just watching the transformation. It's amazing. It's amazing. And that's the thing. And you said it earlier, we have to continue to grow. We must always be seeking to grow. And just one last question before we go, because I know a lot of teachers, we tell our students every day to read. They must read their homework. They must find a book and read. They must schedule time in their day to read. And we are the last persons to take up anything.
Oh man, I'm a reader. I'm a little nerd. I'm a nerd.
Like, how has that helped you throughout the years? Because my goal for 2021 is a minimum of one book per month.
I have had to read. Let me tell you. So when I first started working in Jamaica, I started my educational career at age 16 when I had summer camps. And then once I started working formally in the school system, I was 22. And I was a new kid on the block as the youngest teacher. And there was no one to help me. So I had to figure out how to do things. So I was very fortunate. So I was constantly at a Barnes and Noble every couple of months. So I would have to buy all of these teacher books, literally. And I would read them and I would receive information and I would digest and I'd try to figure it out. I'd tweak it. I would constantly be seeking inspiration. And then I think in maybe about 10 years, well, not 10, but maybe about 6-7 years later, social media became really popular and everybody was using social media. And I just decided to network with people in my industry on social media. And it worked to my advantage. I was able to find out about conferences. I was able to go to conferences. I was able to get invitations to special functions at conferences. So we really began to make professional development a meaningful part of our journey. I mean, I have taken a team of 5 to California for an NACI conference, you know what I mean? After that, teachers have gone individually and independently year after year, just because you have to connect, you have to engage in professional development, you have to read. Now, Jamaicans really don't like to read straight up, but in today's society, you have podcasts, you have webinars, right? There's so many other things that you can do. I mean, I get every morning, once I follow my schedule, I make time to just read what's happening in the world of education. I mean, I get several different emails from a lot of different schools and universities with just latest research, with publishing information. And it helps because you have to know what is happening out there. You cannot change the game if you're unaware of what's taking place. So you have to be abreast. You have to know exactly what clock is striking, right? And I mean, I really enjoy reading. So I love to see a lot of teachers write books like yourself. So I love to see exactly what is happening. I love to see how they write, their style of writing, what works for them. And you just share. You know, back when I started, nobody shared with me. Nobody taught me how to do this, how to make it work. Figure it out, you're young, right? And it was a very lonely transition, right? Very, very lonely. And I don't wish that on anybody. And if we are encouraging our kids to ride on those 4 C's, the communication, the critical thinking, the collaboration, the creativity, then we need to be doing the same thing. It's pointless, you know? So definitely make time for it. I have a whole heap of webinars that come up on a weekly basis that I share with my clients. I can definitely share them with you too. You know, you tell me what area of school you're working in and I can share different things with you. I'm more than happy to do so.
So follow her on social media to get all of that information.
So engage with me. So tell me what you're doing, what strategy, where you are in the world, you know, what works for you, what doesn't work for you, and I can share.
All right, so Jean Marie, I hope I'm pronouncing it right.
Jean Marie, hi Jeannie, Jean Marie Hawthorne.
Yes.
Hi Jeannie.
So she's asking when is Mandeville going to get some Rachael?
Jean Marie, I have sent you a message. We spoke a couple of weeks ago, and you know what you need to do. I'm not speaking anymore, Jean Marie. You know what you need to do, Jean Marie. Line up the thing.
Okay, so that sounds like a side conversation.
Pause. Let me just interject. Guys, Jean Marie is an amazing educator herself. She is in Mandeville and she has an amazing book club for kids. Please follow her, Wordy Kids, okay? Jean Marie is an author. She wrote Jamaica in My Tummy and My Toilet is Bigger Than Yours. Please give her some love, especially this Christmas. Please buy those Jamaican books by a Jamaican female author for your children and for the children that are around you. Please. My friend rocks.
Awesome. All right, Jean Marie. So you know what to do. Connect with Rachael. You know what to do. Any more questions for Rachael before we go, guys? It was an amazing conversation. So we're gonna stick around for another 2 minutes to answer any questions that you might have for Rachael. And then we are going to close out for tonight. But while you're typing your questions in the chat, let me know, how was the session tonight? What are some of the nuggets that you are going to be leaving here with? Because for me, it was just an overwhelmingly wonderful presentation. And one of the things that really struck out to me was what she said just now about reading. And I know you were stressing a lot on learning about different things in education, but one of the things I want to emphasize as well is a lot of teachers, we need to learn how to read for us, like read for our own personal development, because we give so much to our jobs. We give so much in the classroom. And nowadays when teachers are going to bed at 1 and 2 o'clock in the morning, like that's what my teachers are telling me, they're going to sleep at that hour in the morning, and they're working on 3-4 hours of sleep. You have to take some time to take care of you as well. So wherever you need to get the personal development from in order to maintain your own sanity, please get it. All right, let's see. Western STEM Academy. Can't wait.
Western STEM Academy.
You just joined there. Oh, hush. Another Jean is also saying we rock. Thank you, Jean. Amazing. So it seems as if everybody really enjoyed the conversation as well. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you for interacting in the chat, because y'all know how I love the comments. As a teacher, I cannot be in front of the classroom to really walk around and do all these amazing things with my kids. So the comments is where I come alive. So really thank you for interacting inside of the comments as well. Sashane Stone Goldburn, she says she's an educator and she needs some advice of a second job to feel more fulfilled. Interesting.
Fulfillment is a big one. Fulfillment is something that you really have to think about. You have to think about where you currently are and what it is that you want. Remember, Sashane, I spoke about finding your fun or finding the fun. Find out what it is and reflect long and hard on what it is that you absolutely enjoy doing. It may be in the classroom. It may not be in the classroom. It may be in education. It may literally not be in education. But give it some thought, and I'm willing to develop the conversation a little bit more. I think that conversation is one that will probably be unique to you. And I'd have to get some individual insight from you. But I don't mind talking with you. We can connect and we can share a little bit more. I'm happy to continue to talk. But the mere fact that you're thinking about it is an indication that you really need to probably really give it a little bit more serious thought. And the time is now. The time is now if it's on your mind.
Yeah, and I want to say to Sashane, don't do like I did. Like I sat with that feeling for 4 whole years before I did anything about it.
So you see, I'm impulsive. I'm impulsive bad. So once I have an idea, I have to ride on it. So I can't sit down on an idea. I can't. Like if I want to paint the wall in my living room a different color, I have to do it like in the next couple of days. Like energy is real. So once the energy is there and the ideas are, they're rotating and you have this vibe, the vibe can die, right? Yeah. The vibe can die if you just leave it there for too long. So try and ride on the energy. Energy helps things to manifest a lot quicker. So if you have that energy and if you have us supporting you and other people supporting you and giving you more energy, it's going to be easier for you to transition. And be careful who you tell your secrets to and who you share your dreams with, because some people are going to tell you, they're going to scare you. No, you're mad. We're going to that thing. We give up a good job to go to that. Yeah. Okay. So, reflect seriously and actively and link me via DM. And we can talk some more.
All right, Sashane, so you know exactly what to do. Any more questions or comments before we go? Shakira, you're already looking forward to tomorrow. We're not done with today yet, Oh my goodness. And in addition to what you just said, Jean Marie is saying, figure out what best you love about teaching language. Is it grammar? Is it writing? Is it reading? So we're assuming that
English teacher.
Oh, okay, awesome.
And that's important too. So is it grammar? Is it reading? Jean Marie raised a really valid point. Thank you for that. So in your particular subject area, there are different things that you may like to do. So you may literally like fractions. You may literally like to create worksheets based on angles and lines and that sort of thing. But you may just literally hate algebra or trigonometry. You know what I mean? Find out what it is about your particular subject area that you are drawn to, that you love, right? Me in Spanish, I always like to talk. From a long time. I used to get beaten in school for talking. So I would have had to have a job where I get a chance to talk, right? Think back to your childhood too.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true. I mean, people tell me I love chat too, but
if I get beaten like me.
Oh, no, outside of this mic and this camera, I am this quiet. Like I'm extremely quiet. So a lot of people see me online and that is a different Julia that they're looking at, because outside of that, I'm the biggest introvert you can find. Yes. So Victoria is saying, hey, cuz, don't share your dreams with everyone. So that's the lesson that Victoria is taking from tonight. All right, guys, I think that's all the comments and questions that I'm seeing in the chat here. Thank you so much for tuning in for another Boss Teacher Live. We're going all week this week, every single day at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time / Jamaica time. We're going to be here. So we have another guest coming on tomorrow. We have Shakira, who I met literally like exactly 2 years ago. I met Shakira for the very first time. And we are going to be on again tomorrow to have another conversation with her. But let me just say a big thank you, Rachel, for showing up tonight and showing up in a really, really big way. You shared a lot of valuable information. And from what I see going on in the chat, I can see that it was impactful. So thank you for joining the celebration with me. And don't forget to send me those things so I can share them with my audience as well, definitely.
Thank you for having me, Julia. And again, congrats on turning 2. This is a big deal. And again, remember, we have to celebrate every single solitary win. So kudos to you, congratulations, and thank you so much.
Awesome. All right, guys, we'll see you tomorrow for another Boss Teacher Live, 7 p.m. If you don't remember, please put it in your phone. I'm going to be sending out email reminders so you can look out for those as well. Good night, everyone.